Have you ever felt like your relationships are kind of stuck on a loop? Like you're playing out the exact same script over and over, just with a different person in the starring role? Well, if you've ever wondered why those same issues keep popping up, you're about to find out.
It's that moment, right? That frustrating deja vu in the middle of a fight where you know exactly what's coming next and you just feel completely unheard. It feels like you're talking past each other, not to each other. If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone, and there's a really powerful reason why it keeps happening. Okay, so let's get into it. The key to all of this is something called attachment theory. Basically, the idea is that our very first bonds, way back when, created a kind of blueprint in our minds for what love and connection are supposed to feel like. And that blueprint, it's unconsciously guiding how we show up in our relationships today. Now, take a look at these numbers. That big slice shows that about 65% of people have what's called a secure attachment style. But look at the rest. That means over a third of us fall into what are called insecure styles. So if you find relationships a little tricky sometimes, it's not some personal failing. It's a super common, totally understandable pattern. Let's break down the two you see most often. So first up, we have the anxious style. At its heart, this is all driven by a really deep fear of being left behind. In real life, this can look like needing a lot of reassurance, being pretty preoccupied with the relationship, and worrying a ton about what your partner is thinking or feeling. The main drive here is to feel close, connected, and safe. And then on the other side, we have the avoidant style. For them, the core driver is this fierce need for independence. Too much closeness can actually feel, well, suffocating or even threatening. They'll often prefer to handle stress by themselves, which can make them seem emotionally distant or unavailable to their partner. And this right here shows the dance that happens when these two styles get together, which, by the way, is incredibly common. The anxious partner senses some distance, and to feel safe, they pursue, they try to close that gap, but that makes the avoidant partner feel crowded, so what do? They pull back for more space. Of course, that withdrawal triggers the anxious partner's deepest fears, so they pursue even harder, and around you go. It's this painful, exhausting push-pull cycle. But here is the most important part of this whole conversation. Your attachment style is not a life sentence. Seriously, it's a learned pattern. And you know what? Anything that's been learned can be relearned. You can actively, consciously build a more secure way of connecting with the people you love.
And that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because it's one thing to understand all of this while you're calm and just listening to this. It is a completely different thing to change your gut reaction when you're feeling hurt or triggered or afraid in the middle of an actual conflict. So the path forward really requires three things. First, you've got to recognize your pattern as it's happening. Second, you have to practice a new, different response right in that moment. And third, you need support while you do it. Because let's be real, trying to break these deep-seated cycles all on your own is incredibly hard. This is where having a guide can be a total game changer. And this is exactly what FeelSet's AI companion, Clara, was designed for. It's that guide you can have right in the moment. Clara helps you see when an old pattern is taking over, gives you actual words, like scripts, for how to communicate in a more secure way, and teaches you self-soothing techniques to calm your nervous system right then and there. It's like having personalized, non-judgmental support anytime you need it 24/7. And this quote, it just gets to the heart of the whole thing. Building security isn't about learning to cling tighter. It's about building such a strong, solid sense of your own self-worth that you're actually okay on your own. Because it's from that place of wholeness, not neediness, that real, lasting love actually has the room to grow. So if you're ready to stop replaying that same painful script and finally write a new one for your relationships, this is your chance. Understanding this stuff is the first step, but having the right tool to actually apply that knowledge, that's what changes your life. Go ahead and start that journey with a free week at feelset.com.